got Enya's defeat with her stand to justice. I thought that was easy. But this episode proved me very wrong. Oh, so very wrong. My review of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders episode 18. Wow. Okay, I will admit I wasn't expecting this episode to turn out the way it did. Does this mean that this episode was really good? Well, you know what? I'm just gonna start off at the beginning. So, the opening scene, it was a teaser of what was to come later on in the episode. Jotaro and the others in this hole trying to escape the heat. Now the episode actually truly began as we get to see Joseph and Polnareff in this car dealership. According to the narrator, they traveled from Karachi across the Arabian Sea to Abu Dhabi, which is in the United Arab Emirates. As to why Joseph and Polnareff were at a car dealership, it was to get this very expensive car for some reason. Well, Joseph was getting a car. Polnareff was trying to hook up with this girl, which for a minute there I thought it was gonna end up pretty well, but he got cock-blocked by Joseph. And I thought it was kind of funny that Polnareff was like trying to fix up his hairdo when it got ruined by Joseph. Although I do wonder, like, how much hair gel does Polnareff use to keep that hairdo like that? Now the scene shifts with Jotaro and the others inside the expensive car that they got. Now in the car they're discussing their route to get to Egypt. This time they're going to a place called Yarpline, or Yarpline. I don't know if that place is real or not, but they're gonna go there and Joseph is gonna get a Cessna to travel through the Saudi Arabian desert. Now, throughout the entire episode, they did not say what a Cessna was, but from what it has been mentioned in the episode, I believe it must be some sort of aircraft. But there was this funny scene when Jotaro told his grandpa, Joseph, that he didn't want to board a Cessna with a man who's been through 3 plane crashes, and that annoyed look from Joseph's face was pretty funny. Yeah, one thing to point out this episode, a lot of humor. In fact, this episode made me laugh more than the Wheel of Fortune episode. Many of that humor was courtesy of Joseph, of course. This time going, "Oh shit!" or "Son of a bitch!" Why is it when he does these shouts, Joseph just sounds so funny to me? I just don't get it, but it is funny. Now, how they're going to get to the village to get this Cessna, whatever it is, they're going to ride by camels. Joseph trades the car for the camels and some water. According to him, the village that they were currently in right now to get the camels do not take checks, and the people in that village are very wary with money, so he has to trade something. Although I question what this guy who owns the camels is going to do with this car. I don't know if there's like gas stations nearby, but I'm pretty sure he can use it in some way. We then get some more comedy courtesy of Joseph trying to teach Jotaro, Kakyoin, and Polnareff how to ride a camel. How does he know how to ride a camel? By watching Lawrence of Arabia 3 times. First 2 times he fell asleep like halfway through. Joseph, you're such a joker. He learned how to ride a camel by watching a movie? That's not how it works. In fact, he was having a hard time getting the camel to like sit down and having a hard time riding on the camel. Yeah, if there's one thing I had a problem with this episode, it's the pacing, because I checked out from the manga, the whole sun fight took up like 2 chapters. And the scene with the car dealership and getting the camels, that was all filler. There's one thing I do have to mention. Kakyoin was being very suspicious because he had this feeling that somebody was watching them. In fact, he got that feeling the second time when they were finally riding on the camels. But they were taking precaution, attaching palm trees at the back of the camel so that they could wipe their footprints. But during that second time, even Jotaro had this like odd feeling. So he used these binoculars and used Star Platinum's super enhanced eyesight to see if there was anyone following them. But Star Platinum and Jotaro did not see anything. Now, when Joseph took a look at his watch, this is when things started to get very, Very strange. The time apparently was past 8 p.m. Even Jotaro had to double check a second time. According to Polnareff, the temperature was raising rapidly from 50 degrees to 60 degrees to 70 degrees Celsius. Now, I thought the stand, the sun, might be some sort of illusionary type stand. No, the stand is literally the sun. The sun. As a stand. Yeah. Now, realizing that the stand was actually the sun, Jotaro and the others decided to take shelter nearby these rocks. The heat coming from the sun was so intense, it was frying like bits of the grass. Even the camels start collapsing, and the scorpions themselves were getting fried till they were turning into ashes. So if these guys couldn't do anything to stop the sun, they would be literally fried to death or suffer a severe heat stroke or something. But they don't know where the stand user is, but they assume that he's pretty close by because according to Joseph, a weak stand can be controlled from a distance. And I guess judging from the intense heat that they were feeling, the stand user is nearby. So it's not like the lovers, I guess, where the stand can be remotely controlled, but I assumed that was the case in terms of the sun. I really have no idea about the sun or like what type of stand it is. What if it really was like the lovers or the empress, like it can't be controlled far away? But if Joseph said it was true, that means the stand user has to be nearby. Kakyoin decides to do something, and that is to summon his Hierophant Green to measure the distance between themselves and the stand, so that he can determine how far away the stand user actually is. So Hierophant Green was getting closer to the sun, almost getting over 100 meters, but the sun then starts to glow. Hierophant Green was about to use Emerald Splash, but before he could even use the attack, the sun shot laser beams. Laser beams. The sun shot freaking laser beams. Hierophant Green got hit, and that caused Kakyoin to get injured, but since Hierophant Green was only like about to use Emerald Splash, it didn't hurt him that badly, but the heat was not helping him. The sun was launching a bunch of like laser beams at them, even hitting like one of the camels, so yeah, we gotta have another animal death. I mean, this is Stardust Crusaders after all, it's Jojo. You gotta have at least like one animal death in like one episode. Silver Chariot actually parries off a couple of laser beams. Jotaro uses Star Platinum to dig a big hole for the four of them to take cover. Even though they were like underground in a hole, it's still not enough to protect themselves from the intense heat. And this is where things start to get trippy. I'll give kudos to David's Productions with the animation on this one, especially with the trippy scene where they show the sun around. Everything was like spinning. It's like somebody was tripping on acid or something. Cut back to the outside of the hole. Everything's silent. And then Kakyoin starts laughing really hard, and it's like one of those creepy laughs. And then Jotaro starts laughing, and yeah, if Jotaro is laughing, that's like a freaking red flag, but he is like laughing his ass off. And then Polnareff starts laughing, and okay, I'm not gonna lie, their laughter was contagious. It was kind of funny because they were laughing and their faces were kind of funny, but I was like, what was going on? Why are they laughing? I was really confused, and even Joseph didn't know what the hell was going on. In fact, he was like the only one that wasn't laughing. I mean, he thought that they were going insane because of the heat. But no, that's not the case. Because, well, I'm assuming that Kakyoin was the first to notice this because he was the one to laugh first. Kakyoin points to Joseph this rock, big enough to hide a stand user. And then he points out this other rock, which is the same rock in terms of shape and size, at the opposite direction. Here's the thing though, the shadows on both the rocks were reversed. Because, you know, you'd think that with both rocks, even though they were in opposite directions, their shadows would look different or not be reversed. No, it turns out that this was a trick by the stand user, which is why everyone was laughing, because they just realized, oh my god, what an idiot this guy is. And then we get to probably one of the most anticlimactic defeats that I've ever seen. Way more anticlimactic with Enya and Justice. Star Platinum picks up a rock. It's not like a huge rock or a tiny rock. No, it's just a regular sized rock. Throws it towards the first rock that Kakyoin pointed to Joseph. Glass shattered. It was nighttime. The sun disappeared. And that was it. That was it. I'm not kidding. That's how they defeat the stand user. Turns out that the first rock that Kakyoin pointed out to Joseph was actually a mirror that the stand user was hiding behind, which was connected to this small tiny vehicle equipped with water and air conditioning. When I saw this, I laughed. I laughed hard because I didn't know how else to react, because you have a stand that has the power of the sun. Not just the power of the sun, literally the sun. You have a freaking star as your stand, technically, that can not only emit intense temperatures to your opponents, frying them, but it can also shoot freaking laser beams. And the stand user gets taken down by a freaking rock? Guy's name. Hell, he didn't even say anything. He had no lines. The only reason that I know his name was Arabia Fats, by the way, was because of the stat card of the stand. Now, I know I said that previously there were like stand users that were kind of pathetic. I said that Forever was kind of pathetic. Hell, I even said that Rubber Soul was pathetic. Even Steely Dan. Well, Steely Dan's still an asshole, but I take back what I said. Out of those stand users, every stand user that I said that was pathetic, I take it all back, because this guy is the most pathetic one. I think Joseph broke the fourth wall. Even he just like realized, wait a minute, we beat him already? We won? We didn't even know this guy's name. And he was like saying that while he was like looking at the audience. So they were going to go to the next destination, but according to Joseph, it was too dangerous at night. Polnareff sneezes, they laugh, and the episode truly ends with the narrator going, Zhan Zhan, and done. So yeah, that is Stardust Crusaders episode 18. What did I think? Well, it was good in terms of comedy and humor, especially with Joseph, of course. I mean, this guy is such a joker. I love him. The rest, I really don't know what to say. I mean, the episode wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like the best episode I've ever seen. It was kind of good. I mean, no, well, it is good, but I'm kind of conflicted. The pacing at the beginning was a bit slow, but once they got to crossing the desert with the camels, that's when things started to get really interesting, when the sun was introduced. Animation was good as always, especially like the scene where everything started to look all trippy. I thought that was a really good job. OST good as always. Voice acting definitely was really good. They were good when they were doing the laughter scenes, because I thought they did a good job on that. And Jotaro laughing, that was kind of odd, and Polnareff laughing, that's no surprise there, but Kakyoin laughing, that was just okay. Wow. The fight overall with the stand, the sun, I thought the sun was an interesting and cool stand. I mean, it's a sun that shoots laser beams. That's pretty cool. Once they learned the simple, easy trick courtesy of Arabia Fats, that is when the most anticlimactic ending happens. Just throws a freaking rock and is dead. Not dead, just injured, but oh my god. Okay, I will admit, I didn't mind the humor. It's just, I don't want like another battle where you get to see them defeated in the most easiest kind of way. I mean, seriously, Dio, where the hell do you find these guys? So yeah, overall I thought the episode was good in terms of comedy, but in terms of like pacing, not so much. But action was, even though it was brief, it was kind of good, but the ending was kind of anticlimactic, so I'm kind of like 50-50 over this thing. Now, next week's episode is going to be Death 13 Part 1, and that is one that I'm really looking forward to, and many of you guys have been really looking forward to it too. The preview, however, did not reveal a lot. In fact, all we saw was Kakyoin sleeping in his pajamas, the sound of a baby crying, and then all of a sudden Kakyoin screams, and that was it. The fact that David's Productions is not revealing a lot in this preview means that this is going to be one hell of a two-parter, and I cannot wait to see Death 13 and what it can do and what its stand user is. I know it's got something to do with the baby. It probably explains the baby crying. One of the things that I'm definitely looking forward to the most is seeing Kakyoin participate in another fight. I mean, he didn't have his own individual fights, at least not since Tower of Grey. He did participate in a couple of the fights, whether it be a little or a lot. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of Kakyoin doing some more stuff. And Death 13, I hope it's going to be really cool. So if you want to check out the episode yourself, it's out on Crunchyroll, so I'll leave a link in the description down below. And tell me guys, what are your thoughts of this week's episode of Stardust Crusaders? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What are your thoughts on the sun and that ending? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video if you like it and subscribe for more videos, and be sure to check out my Facebook fan page and Google+. So yeah, that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, episode 18. I'm gonna respond 27, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.